What's something that's secretly been great about the pandemic? Gave me the opening to get out of a dead-end delivery job and focus on the shit I actually went to school for. I'm getting there. Any progress at all is still progress, no matter how insignificant it may seem. What is the most important step a man can take? The next one, always the next one. My employer now knows for sure that working from home is completely doable and really doesn't affect productivity. I've also learned that I like going into the office once or twice a week just to break up the monotony of working from home all the time. I agree with both. I miss the social aspect of the office. Just me at home, so being cooped up so long is getting to me. I love not having to communicate with anyone face to face because I stutter too much. Hey, everyone's got their pros and cons. For the first whatever months I absolutely loved it, just starting to get old now. I go into the office once a week but no one else is there but me, so it's basically the same as being home. My boss expects all of our team to spend at least one day per month at the office, but whenever I do it, no one else is there to see me doing it, so what's the point? It just means I had to get up earlier, get home later, and be inconvenienced in the meantime by the restroom being way down at the end of a long hallway. Is it creepy being there alone? Doesn't work just end up wasting more company resources, electricity, heat, having everything running just to house one employee at a time? Seems so wasteful. I'm not afraid, if that's what you're asking. It's just a boring waste of time. At home, I can talk to my spouse, make fun of the cat, watch for Amazon deliveries and the mail, and see people go by walking their dogs. At the office, I'm just there, alone, in a room inside a suite, inside another suite, nestled inside yet another suite, all with locked doors. Utter boredom with no relief except to exit all those locked doors and go to the vending machines that never have anything a sane person would want. The worst part, though, is that I'm required to do it, but no one ever sees me doing it. It makes me tempted to just not do it and say I did, but that would surely be the day someone else said that they were there too and never saw me. If this is how I have to keep my job, whatever. My 14-year-old dog passed away last July. Our whole family had been working or schooling from home full-time starting in March, so we all got to love on her and care for her full-time for her last months. Same. My childhood dog passed away October 2020, had a stroke, and he suddenly couldn't walk or eat or drink. He was already skinnier due to his lack of appetite, so we decided to put him down. I think of him every day, and I think my other dog misses him too. Sorry to hear that. We lost our little guy at age 13 in October as well. I've never cried that amount in my life. I wish I could have done this with my pup. She passed away a few months before the lockdown started. I have now learned that I don't lack time to do things, just motivation. I have all the time in the world to get in shape and learn something new. A year later and I've made much less progress than I should have given the amount of free time. I've lost interest in all my hobbies and gotten fat instead of learning anything new. So it sounds like you're killing it. How funny is it that so many of us thought we were going to be so productive during one of the most distressing times in human history? I was absolutely on fire during the first month of lockdown, working from home. I started all these creative projects, went out for a jog on my lunch breaks, and even after work too, and was having blast with all this new time. Then a couple more months went by and I started to feel the opposite. Just roll out of bed, get on work computer, finish up and log off around 5 p.m., cook dinner, get back in bed and Netflix or Reddit till sleep. I still have no idea WTF happened there? Hey, are you me? This is also my life. We entered in automatic mode. Before the lockdown, all of this was new to everyone, no wonder the excitement of working from home. But then after months we can clearly, or not, see that a life without real human interaction with other people is in monotonous and boring life, even for me as a full introvert, excluded from the parties. The weird guy who don't want to talk to people, feels the same way now. I'm missing a tooth fairly close to the front of my mouth and I don't feel self-conscious smiling in public when I'm wearing a mask. It's a silly thing, but I kinda missed real smiles. First, I read missing a tooth fairy. Second, same. Me tooth. Ain't that the tooth? I had to read that like 5 times before I realized it said tooth fairy. I'm sick a lot less often. The kids are doing school entirely from home so they don't bring crap home like they used to. This has definitely been my healthiest winter ever. Right? I usually get bronchitis or pneumonia every winter no matter what. This is the first winter in my entire life I haven't had so much as a cold or a sniffle. Knock on wood. Me too. I'm asthmatic. Super sick twice a year, a couple colds, persistent cough for a month. This year. No sick days. I can mouth obscenities at people and they don't have a clue. This is my absolute favorite thing. And if I double up on the masks, I can mumble under my breath and they don't hear it. Soft-spoken people happiness. Lol. I'm terrified that when this is behind us I'm going to forget and mouth things as if people can't see me. I live in Florida, so I've faced this battle with sunglasses many times before. As a soft-spoken person, I'm enjoying the mask mindsets right now. People expect to have problems hearing other people, so no one complains that I need to just talk louder like a normal person, but instead polite I ask me to repeat myself if they don't hear me. I've always hated being told to talk louder. Saved a lot of money not going out or traveling. Don't get me wrong, I'm not happy about it and far rather would have spent it, but I do have more money. Even just not commuting saves a ton of money. I was paying $15 a day on light rail and parking at the station, and then buying crappy expensive lunch and coffee near the office. Now, I work at home, where I eat my own food and drink my own coffee. I'm probably saving at least $150 a week. We are spending a lot more at the grocery store, but a lot less overall. Coffee is the biggest thing for me. Too often would get a large mocha at my local coffee shop during my busy days. Then only later when I check my bill that I fully realize that, yeah, spending $6 on a freaking coffee quickly adds the F up. But if I was out a lot, I'd still go back. Contactless delivery. This better stick around after the pandemic. Imagine the people they would lose if they stopped doing it. Gotta be here to stay. As an extrovert, is social anxiety really that bad for people? Yeah man. I know a girl that can't ask friends or family for a ride somewhere without nearly bringing herself to tears. And there are people who don't eat at like a Subway for example because they don't know how to order there. It's real bad for some people, like truly debilitating. For me personally, online learning. It just clicks with my brain somehow. I've gotten the best grades these past few semesters of my whole time in college. I'm off academic probation. I got an A in a class I failed twice before, required for my major, and I am able to do a second major I really wanted. I'm so much less stressed about exams and it feels so good to be able to show my parents grades I'm proud of. I don't know how I would have been able to do this without online classes. I had a lot of trouble with attendance, and my bad memory, and now I'm able to go to class from my room and re-watch lectures and have some notes for exams. I felt so low my first few years of college and I finally feel good about myself as a student. It's still hard to believe that it's me getting these grades and graduation is scary, but I'm so glad I get to do it. Sadly the opposite for me. I used to be a straight A student and am now occasionally dipping into a few Ds. Most distance learning students are either thriving or floundering. There are not many in between. This is really problematic. It means employing a one-size-fits-all teaching environment is failing students. The students who are now doing well were being failed by that system before. It's similar to me at work. I make fewer mistakes at home because I can only concentrate at home. The ability to concentrate at work without people bothering me, with full control of whether to answer their call or not has increased my productivity massively. I don't want to go back to the office because I've gotten so used to working without distractions from home. Some kids must be in the same position regarding schoolwork. It's kind of sad because I can't see a world where schools are anything but 100% in school when we go back to normal and those kids will be failed once again. I'm in New Zealand, so super lucky. When it first hit we locked down for 4 weeks. I'm self-employed, so the government gave me a wage subsidy, like 30% of my normal income but plenty to live on. Best bit is I was renovating my house at the time, so I got paid to renovate my own place for 4 weeks. Not shaking hands. I have palmar hyperhidrosis, sweaty palms, and I'm always nervous about shaking hands. I try to manage it, but it is always a stressor. No more. Yes. I'm so glad someone understands. Not having to shake hands really makes me feel so much better. And that nervousness you get before you shake someone's hand makes it all so much worse. I don't have palmar hyperhidrosis, but I also hate shaking hands. It's just a very odd custom and the worst way to spread germs other than kissing. I hope the fist bump and even better, the forearm bump, survive after the pandemic. Even better, I wish we could just bow at each other at a respectable distance. I have just always been grossed out by shaking hands because I know so many people don't wash them enough. Usually when I meet someone I try to keep my distance and just wave. I have a 14-month-old daughter, born in January 2020. Had I been commuting to work every day, I would have missed out on a lot of her early months of development. And wouldn't have the bond with her that I do. Also used the time to teach my 4-year-old son to ride a bike. And went on some awesome bike rides with him. We were locked to a 5 kilometers radius for a while and we got to know our neighborhood really well. Made rafts and floated them down the creek. Harassed a lot of bull ants and jumped in a lot of puddles. Dude, same. My baby is about to make a year, born in March 2020. The fact that I can stay home and be with him for the first year while keeping my job is a dream come true. I live in New York City. Gotta admit, one thing I like about the masks, I love walking around and listening to my music while lip-syncing hardcore without people noticing. Lamau. Cleaner beaches and ocean in Hawaii. As millions of tourists stayed home. Of course the economy went to shut, but the Aloha Aina prospered. If it wasn't for the pandemic, my dad would be dead right now. He likes to come over to our place while I'm at work. And spend time with my dogs. My papillon got away from him and wanted to play chase in our garage, which is basically a storage unit right now. And she was bobbing and weaving through boxes. When he caught her and took her inside, he noticed he was having a hard time catching his breath. My brother, who lives with me, offered to let him use his new oxygen meter, which he bought after he developed some temporary sleep apnea after he had COVID. The meter was frighteningly low, so he told our dad to go to the walk-in clinic. They told him as soon as he explained his oxygen level that he needed to go to the ER. He tests negative for COVID at the ER, but they found multiple blood clots in his lungs. They kept him a few days in the hospital, and he made a complete recovery with no permanent damage. I know my dad very well. Under normal circumstances, he would have gone home, tried to relax, gone to bed that night, and possibly never woken up the next morning. But COVID has us all on high alert, especially when it comes to breathing troubles. I never thought I'd be thankful for it. Also, after he got out of the hospital, he gave said papillon an extra special doggy treat for saving his life. Thanks for watching till the end.